Hello and good evening to all. I think there is no other class going on apart from this one because only 4 students are there in the class today. Is my voice audible to all? Okay, now people are joining in. My voice audible to everybody? Okay. I think there is no other class going on. Can anybody let me know? I think there is no other class. Okay. Okay, so just very quickly we can start the class. Our today's class, as I have we are discussing in the last class on project management, how we schedule a project, how we decide the timelines, how we prepare milestones, what are Gantt charts, CPM models. So these we are discussing in the last class of project management. Now today we'll be continuing from that part where we have left. Hope everybody remembers in the last class we have discussed a lot of things on project management. If you remember this particular PPT we are discussing in the last class. We have discussed this management of projects. We have discussed project management activities, that is planning, scheduling and controlling. Hope you people remember this particular stuff. Then we discussed project planning, scheduling and controlling. You remember everybody? We have discussed this in the last class. Okay. So I am starting from the place where we have left. Hello. So we have discussed this work breakdown structure. We have discussed scheduling. We have discussed purpose of project scheduling. Then we have discussed, we are on this project management technique. So we have to start from here now. So we have to start from here. So what are the project management techniques? There are 3 project management techniques are there. One is the Gantt chart. One is the critical path method, that is CPM. One is program evaluation and review technique, that is PERT. So a Gantt chart will basically tells you in a graphical way that how much your project is completed and how much more time will it require to complete your project, whether your project is in the design phase a prototype, or in a test phase, production phase, or revise phase. So Gantt chart will give you an exact picture of in percentage that how much your project is complete, or whether your project or whether any of the project running in the organization, how much it is complete and how much it is yet to be completed. So that is the Gantt chart, concept of Gantt chart. We'll be seeing Gantt chart in detail. So project control reports, let us see how many types of project control reports are there. We'll be doing one case study at the end of the class, which will give you a more clear picture on project management. So don't worry. Project control reports will give you, one is detailed cost breakdown for each task. That means if you have a certain project going on and you divide those projects into certain you break down that project into small tasks. So how much costing is there on those particular tasks, you have to decide. Then total program labor curves, cost distribution tables, functional cost and hour summaries, raw materials and expenditure forecast, variance reports, time analysis reports, work status reports. So all these are reports or tables or summaries are required for controlling the project. We will be seeing this in detail in the case study. Then comes the techniques PERT and CPM. Number one, it is a network technique. Number two, it is developed in 1950s. Number three, it considers precedence, relations and interdependencies. Each uses a different estimate of activity times. What are the 6 steps in PERT and CPM? First, it defines the project and prepares the work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure, as I have told in the last class, is nothing but dividing your works into small steps, or you are dividing the project phase into sub phases. That is the work breakdown structure. Then second, it developing relationships among the activities, decide which activity must precede and which must follow others. Third is, it draw the network connecting all the activities. In the meantime, since the class is going on, what I'll do is I'll share with you on your chat box one link. So this is a link of a case study. So I want that, because it's a big case study, so I want that everybody must open this link on their systems and download this case study. In this case study, you have almost you have almost 39 files are there in this case study. 39 PDF files are there. So you just have to download this case study, everybody. Then I can open cases one by one and I can discuss with you. Is it clear to all? When you open this particular link, you will see on the top there is written 3rd edition project management using earned value case study solutions. You have to go into this and you have to click on all case studies in brackets zipped files. Then it starts downloading on your system. You have to click on all case studies zipped files. Yes, all of them. Just click on all case studies zipped files. Do you able to download this, everybody? Okay, Rizzy, I'll just mail you, don't worry. I'll mail you the link on your email ID. 1 second. Really check, I have mailed you the link. Just really check it at your end. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be discussing it afterwards, one by one. So then fourth step is assigning time and cost estimates to each activity. That means how much time you will dedicate to each activity. Then compute the longest time path through the network. This is called the critical path. Using the network to help plan, schedule, monitor and control the project. Now these are some of the questions which will arise. That when will the entire project be completed? Number one, what are the critical activities or tasks in the project? Then which are the non-critical activities? Fourth, what is the probability the project will be completed by a specific date? Is the project on schedule, behind schedule or ahead of schedule? Is the money spent equal to, less than or greater than the budget? Are there enough resources available to finish the project on time? If the project must be finished in a shorter time, what is the way to accomplish this at least cost? So this is how you represent the diagram in the form of the events. A is one event, B is another event, C is another event. So it is called an activity on node. AON. So what is the activity meaning? A comes before B, which comes before C. In the second part, you can see A and B must both be completed before C can start. C, B and C cannot begin until A is completed. So we'll be seeing this in the case study again in detail. Then comes the perform a critical path analysis. The critical path is the longest path through the network. The critical path is the shortest time in which the project can be completed. Any delay in critical path activities delay the project. So critical path activities have no slack time. So here the critical path is the name given to the longest path through the network. That means there are different ways of reaching from one event to another event. But the critical path is the longest path and the critical path is the shortest time in which the project can be completed. Then how we can perform a critical path analysis? Now there are different activities. There is an activity A which means building internal components, which will take a time of 2 weeks. Then comes the activity V, which means modifying roof and floor, which will take approximately 3 weeks. Similarly, there are activities C, D, E, F, G, H, and in total time will be taken to complete all these activities is 25 weeks, which is the maximum time period. Now how we can perform a critical path analysis? Earliest start. Earliest time at which an activity can start, assuming all predecessors have been completed. That means ES means you are starting your activity at the earliest time, believing that all your previous activities have been completed. That's why you are starting the fresh activity at the earliest time. Earliest finish means EF, earliest time at which an activity can be finished. Latest start means latest time at which an activity can start so as not to delay the completion time of the entire project. Then latest finish is latest time by which an activity has to be finished so as not to delay the completion time of the entire project. There are terms which you have to remember: earliest start, earliest finish, latest start and latest finish. We are not getting into the technicality of that part. We are just moving. Now these are some of the list of the popular project management softwares for managing projects. One is the Primavera, another is Mac Project, third is PERT Master, fourth is Busy Schedule, fifth is Timeline, and last is the Microsoft Project. Now these are all the project management softwares which will help you in monitoring the progress of the project, how much the project is completed, at which phase the project is lying, whether the project is at testing phase or it is at the deployment stage or it is at the development phase or it is pending for approval from the stakeholders end. So it will able to help you in tracking the progress of the project. Number one. Number two, it will help you in creating the work breakdown structure. So all those things which are required to manage a project you will find is all these softwares. So in this way you can systematically manage all the project related details. You can try it from your side once we are done with this. Microsoft Project is the very commonly used MS project software nowadays. Now let's get into the case study part. I want that the file which I have shared with you, I want that everybody must open that PDF one by one. First you have to open the case study 2.1. Just open everybody case study 2.1. Have you opened, everybody? Has everybody opened the case study 2.1? Still downloading. Does everybody have downloaded? Does everybody able to open it now? Or I should do one thing, I should upload it one by one. That is the only option with me. It will take some time because I have to upload every. I'm just uploading it one by one. It is almost done. It is almost done. Okay, so now what I have done is I have uploaded every PPT. Now let's start from the first one. Okay, now everybody can see it. Okay, so in the first part of the project management, what we do is we prepare a work breakdown structure. So this is an example of certain project which is called as mod dat project, of which the work breakdown structure is done. That means a structure is divided, a work breakdown means it is being divided into sub phases or sub parts. First, now they have a modded motor scooter which is divided into first vehicle. In the vehicle they have further divided into power source and transmission, frame assembly, suspension and integration assembly. In the system test evaluation they have divided into development tests, test and support, and engineering data. Here they have further divided into data, depot test set, initial spares and repairs, system project management. Under system project management they have divided into project management, quality management, and systems management rather. So what we see in the work breakdown structure is, when we talk of work breakdown structure, we are basically dividing a big project into small parts so that we can calculate the time required at every phase or every part, how much time is required at every level. We need to calculate that part. What are the resources required, how we can achieve it, we have to design a plan, we have to do a testing. So all that's why work breakdown structure will help us in monitoring the project, how much the project is completed, how much further time is required to complete that particular project. All those stuffs is being easier for us to use because we have a picture of a work breakdown. Through work breakdown structure, like we can say that this part is complete, this part is complete, and this part is yet to be completed, this part is yet to be completed. So this is how we can trace the progress of the project here. So that is the first part. Second part is, if we come to the second case study, they have further made another work breakdown structure. So we will not get into this. Just what concept I have told you about work breakdown structure is only that work breakdown structure differs from project to project, or whether you are working in a retail chain or you are working in a IT, or you are working in a civil. So work breakdown structure, the 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 project matter changes. If project changes, the matter changes. But overall, the concept of the work breakdown structure is that it will help you in or it will make your life easy when you are managing a big project. Then comes the work breakdown structure element description. Now what is that? This example provides no detail and would be of very little use even of the lowest risk projects. It even fails to refer to the reader to where more details might be found. This is considerably better than example 1, but still lacks required detail. A good test is if something changes, could it be determined from the description? We would change. No, we are not. This is not of much use to us. Now then comes the very important part of the project management, the risk register. Now what is risk register? A risk register is the type of risks which you have faced or which you are facing. You need to note down all those type of risks which has occurred. You have to maintain a register for that, which will further help you in fighting with the risk, or it will further help you. And you have now how they have prepared the risk register. They have allocated a risk ID to that risk register. Then what type of risk it is? Poor camp training attendance. Now they have given a description of the risk. What are the likelihood that risk can occur, quantity wise and quality wise? And then comes the performance impact. That means how much impact that risk is going to make on your project, quality wise and quantitative wise. Then what is the cost impact it has made? What is the schedule impact it has made? Then finally you can calculate the rating. This rating will help you in determining this risk rating will help you in determining that how much impact that risk is making on your project. So this risk register will help you in analyzing the type of challenges you faced while working on the project. What are the risks that has occurred? How you have cope up with the risk. So with the help of this register, if this kind of risk again happens into that particular project, you know the solution how to deal with that type of risk. Or with the help of this register, you will help to find out which risk to handle first and which risk to handle last, because you have the data of the cost impact, you have the data of the schedule impact, performance impact, and the likelihood impact. So this impact will help you in analyzing which risk is more destructive for you. So you will try to find out solution for that risk. So that is why a project risk register is maintained. Clear? Then comes a control account definition. Now what is the control account definition? So this is nothing but it's a type of a work breakdown structure which has break the work and the portfolios into different subparts. And here So it is nothing but it is a type of a work breakdown structure. Nothing new into this. This is again a work breakdown structure, and these are the different elements. How much time it will take into system development, system integration, software system engineering, electrical design, material design, software design. So this will further subdivide your work breakdown structure into elements, and through that elements you have put on a date here somewhere. That date will tell you how much time it will require to work on that particular element. So this will help you in monitoring the each and every phase of the project. Then comes the organizational chart and responsibility assignment matrix. That means in that particular project, what is your organizational chart, and if you have the clear picture of that particular organizational chart, it will help you in deciding which role is to be allocated to which particular guy, and that particular guy is a part of which particular team. Like if you see, then there is a organizational chart here. At the top it is a president, then under that president there is a engineering manager, purchasing manager, program manager, manufacturing manager, and product assurance manager. Now purchasing manager is having the procurement department with it. Then in the program manager you have hardware configuration manager, system engineering manager, and manufacturing manager. Then in the manufacturing you have hardware quality assurance and software quality assurance. So this particular diagram differs from organizational to organization. In the software engineering manager you have software design and software CM, that is chief manager. So this particular organizational chart differs from organizational to organizational, but you should have this particular organizational chart in front of you, which will further help you in deciding that what role is to be allocated to which person. Then comes developing a personal schedule. How we develop a personal schedule or activity event planning form. We have different activities. Activity A, activity B, activity C, we have named it. Then the sequence, there is a sequence given that in this particular sequence each and every activity has to be executed. Now further there is an activity or event description given that at the first sequence it is draft, write, plan. At the second sequence there is a calculate fuel, weight and balance. At the third it is call flight service. So now what is the start date of the particular activity and what is the start time of the particular activity and what is the end time of the particular activity. Like here it is 8 AM is the starting time and it has to get completed by 8:30 AM. Then once this particular activity gets over, it comes to second activity B. Now what is second activity? It's calculate fuel, weight and balance. Its start time is 8:30 AM to 8:45 AM. So this will help you in monitoring the time period of the particular activity and the time period which has been allocated to each and every activity. So this is how we develop a personal schedule. Now we can also allocate a person here, like person A is responsible for this particular activity, then person 2 is responsible for this activity, person 3 is responsible for this activity. So this is how we can keep a trace that whatever activity which is being allocated to an individual or employee, how much he has completed it and whether he has completed that activity in the defined time period or not. Then comes constructing a network diagram. Now these are the different activities. Now project is started and simultaneously the activity A and the activity B is started. Activity A is linked to activity C, activity C is linked to activity F, activity B is linked to D and E, and once D and E are completed simultaneously, then we go on to activity G. Once F and G are completed simultaneously, that will finish the project. So this particular diagram will show you the different activities and events which are occurring and how each activity is linked to another activity, number 2, and we can only go to activity D and activity E once the activity B is completed. If activity B is not completed, we can't go to activity D and activity E. So this is the start point of the project and this is the finish point of the project. So you are basically dividing your work into different set of activities. Okay. Then comes, there is a more complex network diagram here. So this also means the same thing, only the set of activities are more over here. From A we go to B and C, from C we go directly to G, but from B we go to D, from D to E, E to F and F to G. Then comes state, float and critical path. Now these are the different set of activities here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and so on. Early start time, as we have seen in the slides PPT, there is early start time, that is ES, and early finish time. So early start time is 1, early finish time is 2. Late start time is 1, late finish time is 2. So total float and total fleet is 0. So this particular calculation, early start, early finish, late start, late finish, will help you in deciding the critical path. Critical path is, as we have seen, is the longest part and which takes the shortest time period to complete the project. So we use, as a best practice, we have to follow the critical path. Then comes constructing a bar chart. A bar, you can call it a bar chart or a Gantt chart. Now here you see, here there is a days written. First day of the week, second day of the, not a week, a month rather, first day of the month, second day, third day, fourth day, and so on. So this is the days written over here. Now these are the activities. So this particular graph will show you that this activity A is completed to this part till now. This particular activity B has completed to this part. It has been started on the third day. This activity B has been started on the third day and it has been completed on the 12th day here. So this particular bar chart or Gantt chart will help you in deciding that which where you are in your project. Each activity, how much the activity is completed, what is the scheduled deadline for that, how much more time it will take required to complete that particular activity. So this will help you in tracking the progress of your activities. Then comes crashing the network or what if. Crashing the network or what if. It has been said in the part 1 that activity L must begin on or before day 30. So there are different activities C, G, H, I, J, K. The normal duration for this activity to get completed is 4 days. G for G it 8 days, H for 3 days, I for 2 days, J for 4 days and K for 2 days. The costing which will be required for each activity is, for activity C it requires $8,400. For G it's required $12,000. For H it requires 3,000, I 6,000, 8,500 and so on. Now we can complete this particular activity on a crash duration. That means we can complete the same activity, instead of 4 days we can complete it in 2 days, but the costing will be 9,600. So there is a 6. Then activity G, instead of 8 days it can get completed in 5 days. But what is the crash cost? Cost will be increased from 12,000 to 24,000. Now what is the first day reduction? Reduce G at 4,000 or reduce H at itna, or reduce H at 750. At this point all the 3 paths become critical. This is it's a complex thing. This is a very complex thing. This will be required in the very big projects. The basic thing which you have to focus is the work breakdown structure. I think this also we are in our organization, in my organization in which I work, we are only confined to work breakdown structure. We are not getting into that vertical and horizontal and all those stuffs. What basically we take care of, that how much time it will require to complete the activity, then number of resources required to complete the activity, then man hours required for the activity. So man hours means time required. It's rather required. Then third, the cost of the activity on an hourly basis, or it can be on monthly basis, or it can be as per the contract terms and conditions. So these are the factors which basically we need to take care of. These are all complex things, so we are not getting into that. We are not getting more into the technicality, otherwise we'll get confused, because it's not of very much use for that. The only points which I have written on the chat box, only to that part you have to be confined. Okay, so I think more or less, I think everything which is required to be covered in the class I have covered. So these are all technical parts, technicalities. We are not required to get into that, otherwise it will get more complicated, and it is not of much use to you people as of now. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our today's class on project management, and from next class we'll be taking up the new topic. So if you have any questions, any doubts, any clarifications, just go ahead and ask your question. Anybody? Sandeep, Rezi, Asya, Ajit, Vinod, Kelvin, Fahad. Any questions, anybody? Okay. Rezi, what about you? Okay. Okay, then thank you all for your time. Hope everybody of you have enjoyed today's class. We'll be meeting in next class on Thursday. Thank you all for your time. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.